And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the latest of the FHM 7 Birth of the Bolt series. This is the Big Polly's World of Sports Sim channel. I am Big Polly speaking to you right here. See, here I am. And we are about to play out most of the 1994 Stanley Cup Finals. And as fate would have it, and as the interface of FHM 7 would have it, I missed the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals. But we'll go over what happened in the 1994 playoffs as FHM saw it. We start out with the Rangers defeating Buffalo in 6. Pittsburgh over Washington, that went 7 games. Quebec defeated Boston in 5. Montreal over the New Jersey Devils in 5. The Detroit Red Wings swept Winnipeg. Vancouver, who made it all the way to the finals in real life 1994, they lost in 7 to the Dallas Stars. So that's going to leave the door open for somebody. You've probably figured it out already. The Kings over the Blues in 5, and the Oilers over the Blackhawks. There go the Blackhawks. There go the Hawks, the mighty Blackhawks in 5. So we went to the second round. It was the Rangers in 7 over a very stingy Quebec Nordique team. Penguins swept the Habs in 4, Sacre Bleu. Detroit over Dallas in 4. The Kings over Edmonton in 4. So no revenge for the Oilers. After a few years prior to this, Wayne Gretzky got traded to the Kings. So in the semis, or the conference finals, if you will, the Rangers were swept by the Penguins, and Detroit took the Kings 7, but it was the Kings who wound up winning. So we have a very interesting and marquee final here. It's Super Mario against the Great One, and we are going to play out the second game. See, the interface on FHM 7, let me just show you one thing here, where I have it underneath play, okay? And the way this works is if you accidentally hit next game, you don't go to the next game of the playoffs. So you gotta hit next day a couple of times. Or if you hit continue up here, this was what happened with me last year. If you hit continue in the upper right, it'll continue all the way through the finals because it's looking at it from the perspective of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're going to play the second game out. Let me first show you what happened in game number 1. It was the Penguins winning 2-1. Your stars were Mullen of Pittsburgh, Wilson of the Kings at center. He scored the goal. He scored a goal. Mullen scored a goal. D-U-U-S. Right defense had an assist, and he got the third star of the game. And let's see. The Kings scored first on a goal by... who was that? Ron Wilson. And then Mullen got the goal to equalize, and Rick Tocchet on an even strength goal got the game winner. What have turned out to be the game winner was 2-1, and Pittsburgh won it on shots 35-33. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to play, and the emphasis is on the word try, because I'll probably forget to hit the right button here. And we're going to play out the second game of the Stanley Cup. And of course, the face gen is screwed up on this. Kelly Rudy in goal for the Kings. Tom Barrasso in goal for the Penguins. Wayne Gretzky, the Great One. So far, he's had a very good run in the playoffs, with the plus-minus being 6 and 30 points, 10 goals, 20 assists. Lemieux is not doing too bad either. 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points, and a plus-minus of 9. So we're going to view this game. And this is the second game of the playoffs. I think ESPN will be pleased with the ratings they would get from this playoff, with Gary Thorne doing play-by-play. And we are off. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh. They have the 1-game-to-none lead going into this second game. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement probably would have called this one. And, of course, I think ESPN's getting hockey back next year. I think Turner's going to get a little piece of the package as well. And we're going to have a goal for somebody here shortly. And it is Pittsburgh on the board. Pittsburgh, Ron Francis, assisted by Paul Stanton. 1-0 Penguinis. They have a 7-1 lead. Don't think we'll get a good grasp on who's going to win this series. There's another goal. Kelly Rudy getting lit up like a Christmas tree. Joe Mullen with the goal. Bob Airy and Ulf Samuelsson on the 2 assists, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh. I don't think we're going to get a good grasp of who's going to win this series until the third game, until the series shifts to Los Angeles. I think back then they were still playing at the Great Western Forum. I think Pittsburgh was playing at the Civic Arena still. We'll just have to keep an eye on a lot of things here. I'm looking at the LA lineup. 13-1 on shots. This is just ridiculous. Now 14-1 Pittsburgh. And the route is on. The route is on this. Lemieux scores. Stevens and Yager assisting. And it's 3-0. My goodness. So Pittsburgh off to a flying start. And look at this. Yager scores for Pittsburgh 4-0. They need to take Rudy out of the game right now. If I was the LA Kings, that's what I'd be doing. 4 goals in about 14 minutes, and they're up 17-2 right now on shots. They're going to make it 5. They do. Yager again. 5-0. At this point, why do you keep Rudy in the game? Hooking against John McIntyre. If this was a fight, the ref would stop it. And by the way, tomorrow I'll be doing some Glory Days boxing. Wednesday, if you're seeing this before April 28th, we're probably going to do a live chat around 7 o'clock or so. Celebrate the first anniversary of the first video this channel has produced. It was an OOTP. My first OOTP episode for OOTP 21. Thursday will probably be Grand Slam Wrestling. The rest of the week is up in the air. Friday we'll be doing, I think we might be doing, if Action PC Football has been released by then, we'll do a walkthrough of Action PC 2021, Football 2021. And we'll have HTFL Football for you starting September 6th on this channel. Doing Season 2, San Francisco Gold Raiders defending their title. See if the Baltimore Ravens actually could do better than they did last year, making the finals and losing in the championship. 25-2 the shot total right now. This is ridiculous. Gretzky is still, well, he's back and forth. Gretzky's got to be embarrassed watching something like this. 2 shots and he's on the team with 2 shots. 27-2 is the shot total right now. It is still 5-0 Pittsburgh. So so we could have 3 games for you. Or we could have as many as 6 games for you on this edition. And LA finally gets their 3rd shot on goal almost midway through the game. This is as bad a hockey game as you will see. And we have 7.5 minutes left. Second period of Game 2. It is still 5-0 Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with 5 first period goals. Shot total now all the way up to 28-4. So the Kings have doubled their shot total in the last few minutes. I think everybody already went to bed watching the game and probably watching what was happening with Major League Baseball and their abortive 1994 season that never ended because they had a players' strike. Of course, robbed Ken Griffey Jr. of pursuing perhaps the single-season home run record. Among other great accomplishments, Montreal, would they have won the World Series that year, the Montreal Expos. And that's the end of the second. 5-0 still Pittsburgh. See if anybody scores the rest of the way. It's now 31-7 on shots. So we'll have at least 2 more games of the series and maybe 4 more. In the real sports world, it is Oakland. The Oakland A's are in town here in St. Petersburg battling the Tampa Bay Rays. They just had a streak where they just won 12 games before Baltimore beat them yesterday. Tony Granato assisted by Cheveldayoff and Baca, and it's 5-1. So the Kings get off the schneid. They lost 2-1 in Game 1. Now they're losing 5-1 in Game 2. Now they're going for another goal. They get it. Paul Coffey again, Sandstrom and Cheveldayoff, and it is 5-2. And a long time to go, and you're now to a 3-goal margin. And somebody always says the 3-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. But a 5-goal lead, you should be scot-free. Maybe, maybe not. Rudy's still in goal for the Kings. And he's been performing way better than he did in the first period when he gave up that 5 spot. We are midway through the third, 5-2, so if this holds, Pittsburgh will have a 2-0 series lead. And they will play in Los Angeles games 3 and 4. Then they will alternate games until somebody has won 4. Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would host the 7th game if it goes that far. 6 minutes to go. The shot total a bit more respectable now, 34-15. But time running out on the Kings to get back in this one, but they were never really in it. Those 5 unanswered goals is going to prove heavy. Under 2.5 to go. Shots are now 35-16. Here are the Kings. And it's 5-3. Hold the phone. Robert Lang assisted by Gretzky and Granato. We may not be done yet. Minute to go. Keeping the goalie in. And now they go to empty net. And this one is over. 5-3. The Penguins extend their series lead to 2 games to none. So now they will go out to Los Angeles. And remember, don't hit continue. Just hit next day twice. Check the schedule. Next day again. And let's go to the schedule. Let's check the mail real fast, see if anything's going on. Storley's suspension ended for the Kings, so he will be back in action. Lightning picked up some new players, but their season was long over with. So over to LA for the 3rd game of this Stanley Cup final. Penguins have won the first 2. Tom Barrasso in goal for Pittsburgh, and Kelly Rudy again for LA. Lemieux's plus-minus is now up to plus 11. 11 to the good side. And Gretzky with the assist now has 31 points in the playoffs. His plus-minus is 7. Barry Melrose and Scotty Bowman are the coaches. Bowman for Pittsburgh and Melrose for Los Angeles. So let's drop the puck and let's go from the Inglewood Forum. Also home of the Los Angeles Lakers, who had many world championship back in the day of the 80s. And it is already a scoring situation for somebody. Looking like it's going to be Pittsburgh, who's going to get the first goal here. And they do. Pittsburgh in the white, and the Kings wearing the dark colors now that we're in LA. That was Stapleton, assisted by Stavania and Loney. I am hoping I'm pronouncing that first name right. And off we go, 1-0 Pittsburgh in Game 3. So in this sim, the Rangers were denied a championship, unlike what happened in real life to 94. And we had a penalty holding against Troy Loney. Sorry I didn't catch it quicker. Hope you didn't leave you all in the lurch. Can the Kings equalize, or will the Penguins take a 2-0 lead in this third game? And it's the Kings tying it. Granato assisted by Gretzky, and it is 1-1. And very quickly, here come the Kings. They get another one. Kadelsky assisted by Huddy and Lang, and it's 2-1. Eleven and a half left to go in the first period of Game 3. Remember, if we go overtime, we keep playing 20-minute periods until one team or the other scores. And that's probably what makes hockey so good. Playoff hockey, that is. Overtime playoff hockey. Nothing like it. For my money, anyway. And it's the Penguins tying the game. Bob Airy assisted by Mullen and Francis. Back and forth we go. It's 2-2. Midway through the first period. It feels like we've gone longer, but we haven't. Next week we'll be starting the 94-95 season. We'll be playing the first few games of the season for Tampa Bay. One more shot of trying to make the playoffs earlier than the real-life Tampa Bay Lightning did. And the team did make progress in 93-94. Looking forward to seeing what happens in 94-95. 5 minutes left, first period. 14-5, Pittsburgh leading on shots. We have Straka going to the penalty box. Penalty power play situation for the Kings. We're at 21%. The Penguins, their penalty killing is 82%. So both teams, this will be a nice little battle of the irresistible force beating the immovable object. Under 3, first period, 14-6 on shots, now 14-7. Here come the Kings. And they get one, and they take the lead again. It's Rob Blake, assisted by Gretzky and McSorley. McSorley now back from suspension, and it's 3-2. Back and forth we go in this very pivotal third game of the Stanley Cup of 1994, or at least how this sim will see it. And the Penguins retie it. Francis, assisted by Yager. A very active first period. And we've already had 6 goals on the board. Will we get a 7th before the period ends? No. It is 18-9 on shots, but we are at 3-3 going to the second. And already, here come the Penguins. They have a scoring chance here, I think. And they get it. Mario Lemieux, assisted by Stevens and Yager. And the Penguins retake the lead at 4-3. Oh, doctor. Fans staying up late on ESPN watching this third game of the playoffs. Well, it could be like they could have started at, say, at 10 o'clock Eastern. But more than likely, they probably would have started it at 8, so everybody on the East Coast can watch it and not fall asleep watching it. Gary Foreman's been known to give you a little adrenaline here and there. Of course, I was watching ESPN in 1987, where they had the game that went 4 overtimes between the Islanders and the Capitals. 5-3 now as Yager with the goal. Lemieux and Stevens assisting. A very young Mike Emmerich calling that game with Bill Clement. And I think they played most of 4 overtimes before Pat LaFontaine got the game winner there. And I watched every play of that game. I did not fall asleep until the Islanders had won. It was, I think it was a game 7. I think this is when the first round was 7 games. And talk about a battle. Those two teams. I think Kelly Rudy was the goal, in fact, the goaltender for the Islanders in that game, if my memory serves. But it was Easter Sunday, I think, and they kept playing and playing and playing. And I think LaFontaine got the goal like late into the 4th overtime, could have gone 5. So with 7 minutes left in the second, Pittsburgh looking for a 3-goal lead. And they get it. That could be a very critical goal. Tocchet assisted by Aloni and Stapleton. 6-3 Penguins, game 3. If they win this, it's kind of like when a mob boss kisses you on the lips if you're a guy. It's like, they kiss you on the lips because you're about to be executed. Now that's probably not an analogy you would get on a Fortnite stream. And we have a penalty against McIntyre. Penguins going on the power play, which is lethal at 27%. Kings are 79% on the penalty killing. This would be a big goal here if they get it. They get a 4-point game. 4-goal game, pardon me. This is what happens when you are talking and trying to avoid burping at the same time. So 3:40 left in the second. And Pittsburgh again dominating the Kings, and it's 7-3. Oh my. Stevens assisted by Yager and Lemieux. And this is starting to look like it's just a matter of time before the Penguins win the Stanley Cup, which they cannot do tonight, but they could do in Game 4 with a sweep, should the score hold. Here come the Kings. Definitely need something here, and they get it. It is Kudelski assisted by Baca and Donnelly. 7-4 now, with under 2 to go, second period. And that's it. 7-4 with 20 minutes left to play in the game number 3, third period of game 3. 37 shots to 18. Pittsburgh really putting on a show in this series. Wins so far of 2-1 and 5-3, and they lead 7-4 here. Lemieux going to the sin bin for interference. .15 minutes left in the third. 7-4. Pittsburgh in front. Shots are 39-18 now. Fighting, we had McSorley against Erie. They hooked it up. They each hit for 5, at least. 12 minutes left in the third. Shots are 39-18 in favor of the Penguins. Thought the Kings would give them a better series. That has not happened yet. We're midway through the third, a little past midway. It's 41-20 on shots. Kings need to get something going here, or they're going to be down 3-0 heading into fourth game. Now 41 shots to 22. And Wilson called for hooking. And we're not talking about the action on the Sunset Strip. So the Penguins could really stick a fork in here. Yes. Yager scores, assisted by Lemieux and Stevens. 5:21 left. 8-4 Pittsburgh. Man, oh man, oh man. About 2 minutes to go. Edward Hartman in goal for the Kings, by the way. So somewhere along the way, McSorley just took another penalty. Kelly Rudy was given the rest of the night off, and this is how we got another penalty tripping against German Tiedoff. This one is over, and the Penguins now 1 game away from a Stanley Cup. They win 8-4. They lead in the series 3-0. And I am going to get the fourth game ready for you all. Kings need a win, obviously, or this series is over. Hartman is in goal for the Kings. He gets to start in the fourth game. I guess Barry Melrose had enough of Kelly Rudy. And they figure they got nothing to lose putting the backup goalie, the number 2 goalie in. Seeing if he could stem the tide. So the Penguins only need to win 1 game in these next 4, and they are the Stanley Cup champions of 19 and 94. And we have our first penalty hooking against Bob Airy, which will put the Kings up 5-on-4. And on we go. It's the Kings with an onslaught of shots early on. They're up 12 shots to 2. Could they get the first goal here of the fourth game? And the answer is yes. Granato, assisted by Gretzky and Sandstrom. 1-0. So they are cannonading the Pittsburgh goalie Barrasso with shots, roughing McSorley and Loney. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Tony Granato. They should charge around the penalty box because you got a lot of players in it right now. 12 minutes left. First period, it's 1-0 Kings. Trying to avoid being swept in the Stanley Cup. If they can. We're midway through the first. It's 15-5 on shots now, Los Angeles. Jesper Dus called for hook. I do not know how to pronounce that last name. I'm sorry. But it is now the Kings back on the power play. They have a 16-5 shot lead. And it's 1-0. They lead in Game 4. They're looking for their first win of the Stanley Cup Finals. Granato called for tripping. Granato spending a lot of time in the penalty box in period number 1 of game number 4. If you are just tuning in to this stream, the Penguins won the first game, which we did not have on our stream. Then they won the second. Then they have just won the third. They are going for the sweep. But right now it's the Kings who have better ideas. They lead 1-0 in the fourth game, trying to avoid being swept. 19 shots to 7 right now. Penguins were very impressive in the game we just did, 8-4 win. And Pittsburgh on the power play, cross-checking against somebody on the Kings. Walter Reichel, I think it was. Last 30 seconds of the first period, and that has now concluded. 20-7 was the shot total for the Kings, and they have a 1-0 lead in goals in the fourth game. If the Kings are successful and they can win, they go to Pittsburgh for the fifth game. McSorley, no stranger to the penalty box for the Kings in this series. He goes for 2. Can LA get something going? Or can Pittsburgh get something going in this game? They're starting to close the gap a little on the shots. It's 20-11 now. Of course, Lemieux playing well at center. His game rating right now is 65. And to repeat, next week we'll be starting the 94-95 campaign for the Tampa Bay Lightning and seeing if they can do better than their real-life counterparts. Counterparts is the word I was trying to say. Interference. I'm fine, folks. I haven't been drinking. That is, if you don't count milk and Coke. Sometimes when you try to talk and you have drank both of them, that's not a good thing. Roughing against Stevania, 1-0. LA still leading. We go to Pittsburgh for Game 5 if the Kings win. If not, the series is over. And that's another goal for the Kings. 2-0 lead. Robert Lang, torn calf muscle. He's out. We didn't catch who scored the goal. Now Pittsburgh very quickly comes back and they get a goal. Bob Airy, assisted by Ron Francis. Let's show you the box score and let's see who got the goal for LA. It was Kildelski, assisted by Gretzky and Huddy, and Airy just got the goal, assisted by Ron Francis. 2-1. 8:40 to go. Still plenty of time for Pittsburgh if they want to get going here. Try to seal out the series in LA. Not to be confused with the Golden Seals of California, who played up in the San Francisco-Oakland area, who eventually became the Cleveland Barons. And the Kings get it back. Yatukin, assisted by Coffey and Sandstrom, and it is 3-1. Long way to go still in this game. We got about 4 minutes of the second period and all of the third. And remember, if we go overtime, these are 20-minute overtime periods. If you're enjoying the Glory Days boxing series I've been doing, we had a penalty shot here, I think. And that is Lemieux, assisted by Yager. I heard the whistle. Was there a penalty shot situation? If so, that would be a first for all the games I have covered. Okay. Get the box score here. Okay, it was even strength and no denotation of the penalty shot. So it's 3-2. And as I said, Pittsburgh just hanging in right now. They have almost drawn even on shots at 27-22 Kings. And sportsmanlike conduct against Loney, which is going to put the Kings on the power play for 1:58 of the third. And they are holding on through a 3-2 lead. If the Kings win, we go back to Pittsburgh for the fifth game. If the Penguins come back and win this, the series is over. And they win on a 4-0 sweep. 4-0 sweep. The next goal here could be very critical if I'm not overhyping everything. And we'll wait to see who gets it. 4 minutes gone by. It looks like it's going to be the Kings. Unless the game's just trying to trickerate with me here. Kings keeping it in the zone. Penguins recover. Breakaway, maybe? No, the Kings get it back. The Kings get it back. Now the Penguins have it. Again, this is a very critical situation. And the game's keeping me in very much suspense. And the Penguins tie it. 3-3. Samuelson assisted by Loney and Stapleton. And very quickly, a penalty on Stapleton, so the Kings get a power play. Funny how you see a goal in FHM, and right after that, you see somebody getting a penalty. So the Penguins on shorthanded here. If I'm reading the scoreboard correctly. We're 3-3 in the third. When the replay began, it looked like the Kings had possession of the puck. Hart's been doing a good job in goal, by the way, in favor of Kelly Rudy. Keeping the game close. 11 minutes to go. Although his game rating is well behind Barrasso's. Hooking John McIntyre. So the Penguins on a power play. Could that be a telling penalty? Midway through the third. 34-27 on shots. LA leading right now. Under 9. And we will go to overtime. Like I said, 20-minute overtimes in the playoffs, and that's what makes the playoffs so good, in my opinion. The best in any sport. Because the game could be over in 30 seconds, or you could be playing for 3 days. Under 6 minutes, third period, a 3-3 tie. Who will break the tie? If Pittsburgh does it, that's the series. If the Kings do it, that extends it to Pittsburgh in a fifth game. 37-30 on shots. 3 minutes to go now. Who will get that deciding goal? Might as well be playing overtime right now. So close to it. Under 2. With 1:01 left in regulation, Pittsburgh gets the goal. Yager assisted by Francis and Mullen. 4-3. So the Kings have exactly 61 seconds to try to get the goal. Empty net. And the Kings can't do it. Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup in a 4-0 sweep. 4-3. And they are hoisting the trophy in Los Angeles in front of 16,005 at the Inglewood Forum. And let's again tell you that Jaromir Jagr got the go-ahead goal with 1:05 left in the third, left in regulation. So Jaromir Jagr is a name that's going to be etched in Stanley Cup history. Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup. I have been Big Paulie. I've been coming to you these last, 39 minutes or so, bringing you the concluding games of the Stanley Cup, which in this simulation was won by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Next week we'll be starting the 1994-95 campaign for Tampa Bay. Hope you all are well. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.